Hey, somebody's got to hang the mistletoe. You did? Excellent. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. You are listening to the Professional Noticer.
How dare you enter the glitch's lair!
Here, you and I will use common sense and all the wisdom we can muster to move beyond what is true and go all the way to the truth, creating measurable results for people like you and families like yours. No longer a member of the amateur ranks, I am the Professional Noticer.
I didn't know you had elves working here.
Hello, everyone. I'm Andy Andrews. Hey, thank you for making me a part of your week. While our topics might seem to vary wildly at times, it is because the things you care about most are often greatly affected by the things you care about least. Therefore, we will field questions about business, spiritual issues, popular culture, and why nostalgia just isn't what it used to be. My purpose here today and with every show we do is to play the part of a best friend or coach. I want to help you live the life you would live if all your toughest questions were answered. The Professional Noticer is sponsored this week by Tucker ATV, Highway 43 North in Jackson, Alabama. This is an unusual business. Check them out in person or heck, even online, or a Facebook visit will show you why this is an unusual place of business. Yeah, the variety of power sports products will blow your mind. Hustler brand turf equipment featuring these unbelievable zero-turn mowers. But my yard is sand. I really want one of those things anyway. Yes, Tucker ATV carries the entire line of Echo power tools. But the star of the show is obvious when you walk into the massive space called Tucker ATV. On site, they display every make and model of the best ATVs available. Polaris. They have big Polaris side-by-sides, the smaller, fast, jazzy models for folks who are looking for speed, even in the sand or in the mud. And then there's the Ranger Crew. That's the one I have, and my family loves it. Smooth riding, easy to handle, and the Ranger Crew we have seats 6 people. The showroom at Tucker ATV has people driving out of their way to see it. Why? Because the showroom is an experience. Tucker ATV, set off by itself on the north side of a small Alabama town, has actually become a destination for people who love the outdoors. The taxidermy with mounts from all over the world, the themed antique displays, and then there's the porch. Tucked inside the showroom, the porch is my favorite place in the store. Has an old-fashioned porch swing, comfortable chairs, books, coffee that's free, and a huge television set. And curiously, as great as the variety of products is, great as the porch is, that one-of-a-kind showroom, the real reason Tucker ATV has customers in 14 states is obvious. The difference is Shannon Tucker or Lisa Tucker and their son Matt. This is a family business. But when you call or when you walk in, you're treated like part of the family. Did you get that? Shannon and Lisa treat customers like family. They made a decision long ago to serve others. The store is just their vehicle they use to do that, serving other people. That's exactly why folks from 14 states do business with Tucker ATV. So visit the Tucker ATV Facebook page, buy one of their t-shirts, or visit Shannon and Lisa in person. That's the best. Highway 43 North in Jackson, Alabama. Tucker ATV, the small town business with the national reputation. Hey, you guys, Merry Christmas. Are you feeling the season? Yeah, I know you've been seeing the Christmas trees in stores since August, but how's it hitting you now? Have you got your tree up? We do. We have our tree up. We have a Fraser fir, a live tree of a Fraser fir. Every year, I'm sure that comes from Polly's parents, my parents. I'm glad we agree on the kind of tree. You know, my dad always said, we're not getting a stinking Scotch pine. They get needles all over. He just had this mental war with Scotch pines, but so we always had some kind of fir. But we're going into these observations and answers. I love doing that, and that's what we do here. I deliver the observations, and you provide the questions. And so to get us rolling today, we have a question from Zach. He's from St. Louis. Let's listen.
Hey, Andy. This is Zach from St. Louis. I'm 26 years old, and I've graduated from college with a degree in English. I've been freelance writing for a variety of business and people, mostly sales, copy, bios, emails, and things like that. I enjoy what I do, but my passion is writing fiction, mostly sci-fi and fantasy. My little home office reflects this as I have collectibles, figurines, games, and whatnot all around. Somehow these things seem to spur my fiction creativity. However, I find that I'm constantly getting distracted while writing sales copy because my attention keeps jumping to my own stories. Do you have any tips for handling distractions? I could put all my collectibles up and maybe that would help me focus for what is paying the bills, but then I'll no longer have the writing cave that gets me excited. Should rearranging my office be something I'm even considering, or is there a mental aspect that could help? Thanks for all you do.
Okay, Zach. I am interested in your question. I'm interested in it because I'm kind of that world and because I can answer it for you. And with my answer, I know I can help you career-wise. Listen, you asked, that is there anything that I do, any tips for handling the distractions? And as you probably already guessed, the only tip I have for handling distractions is to remove the distractions or remove myself. I am like you. I'm very, very susceptible to distractions. But it's noise that does it to me. It's, my office sounds a lot like your office. I got a bunch of crazy, different kind of things around, and I put them in here to inspire me, to fire me up. Same reason that you have your collectibles in your office. Okay, so I don't think, even though you say, gosh, these things are distracting me, should I remove them? I still do not think you should remove them. I don't think this is a case where the distractions are creating something devastating. I actually think these distractions are going to help you make more money than you've ever made in your life. When you're writing sales copy, bios, emails, and things like that. Because here's what I want to tell you. What you're looking to do, writing fiction, what you love to do, writing fiction, is that's a story, okay? In effect, what you're saying is, I like to write stories. I like to create. Okay, well, when you're doing these sales copy, when you're doing these emails for people, I'm just telling you, most of them, you may be already doing this, but experience tells me you're probably not, because you've come out of college with a degree in English, and there are a lot of people in college to tell you how you're supposed to do this. And when you get out into the real world and you start doing what they have taught you, the vast majority of corporations, the vast majority of individuals that would ask you to create something, that's what they were taught. That's how they were taught it is done. And so when you pass in something that is related to what you were taught in college, they're happy with it. Now, in general, this is no offense to you or to your clients, but in general, we are attuned to sales copy, and you may be bothered by distractions, but if you're like, a billion other people, you have learned to tune out sales copy. You've learned that there's the delete button on the top there of the screen of your computer that, when an email comes in that's sales, we give it a second or two and then delete it. Now, I want you to think about the best fiction books you've ever read. What is it that you liked the best about them? Well, For me, I like something to start in the action. I like something, don't give me 3 pages of, the day was sunny and Martin walked along the beach and was thinking about his wife, and Martin had walked the beach many times in the past, of course, and that was before Martin. It's like, God almighty, come on now. I don't want to know this much about Martin. I want to read the book, and if it's all going to be like this, I'm probably going to dump it before I get to anything. I want something. Sorry, I always think of there's an author called Lee Child, and Lee Child is the one who writes the Jack Reacher movies. The Jack Reacher movies star Tom Cruise, by the way, which there were probably 16 or 17, I think, Jack Reacher books that were out when it was announced that the first movie was coming out, and Tom Cruise was playing Jack Reacher. Well, the people who have read the books for years just went nuts. I mean, you should go online something. You want to see something funny. I mean, they were just killing everybody because, see, in the books, Jack Reacher is like 6'5", 240 pounds, muscular. He has brown hair, sandy brown hair. Okay, so you got Tom Cruise, and he's like 5'8" and has black hair. And, it's hard if somebody is, got that in their mind. But that was like a rabbit trail for you, just to tell you something I was thinking about. But, Zach, one of the most interesting Reacher books that Lee Child has ever done, it began like this. These aren't the exact words. I can't remember which book it was, but this is kind of how, this was like the first sentence. As William Limpert got into his car, he had no idea that in 15 seconds he would be dead. I mean, what a great first line, because, you're not stopping after that. All right. So what I'm saying is you are bent that way. You like that kind of stuff. You like fiction. You like creating. All right. This part of you that wants to write fiction, you should use that desire. You should use that talent in the emails and in the sales pitches that you write for people, in the bios. Use that and think sales copy. Some of the best, the best sales copy ever written are things that create a story. I remember seeing something several years ago. It was a commercial, and it was about a little boy and a dog coming in late at night that they thought was lost. And man, this commercial it blew up, and everybody was watching it. It was a regional commercial, and it was like for an air conditioning company, and it was just huge, but it was a story. Okay. They got their stuff. They got the thing they wanted in there, everybody to know, but people would stop and watch it. Think of the things that you will stop and listen to, or stop and read, or stop and watch. And so what I'm saying is, if you can manage to take that excitement that you have for fiction, that talent that you have for fiction, and begin to weave it into the sales copy that you're writing, and the emails that you're writing for people, and into the bios that you're doing, present their life as a story rather than paragraph after paragraph after paragraph of facts. So anytime that you have a story, it's just better. So there you go, Zach. Just understand. I know that wasn't the answer maybe you were after, but I think your question was so good that, you may have gotten the answer, okay? Because I think this answer is going to make you better at the nonfiction part of your life. I think it will make you so much better that it will give you more opportunity quicker in the fiction part of your life. So keep after it, buddy. I'm excited for you, and I can't wait to see your first book. Thanks, Zach. Okay. Are you a Christmas music person? I mean, how much of a Christmas music person? Because I think, Adam and I, and probably Austin, not Polly, but the boys and I, certainly Adam and I, could listen to Christmas music any day of the year. Yeah, I mean, we love it. We consider ourselves connoisseurs of great Christmas songs and great Christmas collections. I got to tell you, right now, the Christmas album from the Isaacs. It's The Isaacs. And it's, I don't know what the name of it is, Matt. It's probably like The Isaacs Christmas or something. But if you look on iTunes or if you look on Amazon, it's the white cover where the four of them are dressed more in white, but it's a white cover. And I'm telling you, that is the best Christmas album I have ever heard in my life. Every cut on it is phenomenal. So there's my recommendation for your Christmas music. Also, we wanted to start doing a book of the week. We won't spend a ton of time on it, but a lot of people ask me about what books I recommend, what books I'm reading, and I am always reading a book, and so I figured we ought to just tell you every week which one. And so the book this week, now I've had it for more than a week. Polly and I have both gone through it multiple times, but it's one of the most interesting cookbooks. Now, I know there's some guys going, well, okay, cookbook. But there's a lot of guys that are cooking on the grill, cooking for their families. And so I'm just telling you, this is a great Christmas present to yourself. If nobody's going to buy this for you, go on Amazon. We'll put a link to it at the bottom of the show notes. Go on Amazon, or click our link and buy this and wrap it and put it to yourself from somebody else in the family. Then when you open it, go, oh, golly, I heard about this. I wanted this. The book is called Eat at Home Tonight. And it's 101 simple, busy family recipes for your slow cooker, for your sheet pan, for your Instant Pot, and more. And this is a book by Tiffany King, who I knew she was writing the book, and then when I got the book, I was blown away. This was so much more than I thought. There's beautiful photographs, and there's all kinds of things all throughout this book, not only these recipes, but talking about, striking a balance at home and keeping your family together at night. I'm looking at page 71 here, table conversation starters. I just love this. I love this. These are things that I would use and I will use in my family. Hey, everybody, what's one subject they don't teach in school that you really wish they would? All right, here's another one. If you had out-of-town guests coming to visit, what is the first thing you would take them to see around here? If you could instantly be good at one thing, what would it be? Mine would be invisibility. Anyway, Eat at Home Tonight by Tiffany King. That's our book of the week. I'm Andy Andrews, the professional noticer, harnessing common sense and wisdom to plow through challenges all the way to an answer for you. Well, I was very curious about this one because it is purportedly from Cindy Lou Who. She's from Whoville. Let's listen.
Hi, Andy. My name is Cindy Who from Whoville, and I have a confession. I'm developing a pretty bad attitude. I can see it coming, especially during this holiday season. I'm turning into the Grinch. I used to, and I still love buying my family and friends the perfect gifts, but now the mass chaos and just how people act to each other these days makes me really dread going out in public to shop. Yeah, I can shop online, and I do, but it's not the same as hand-picking out the perfect gift. Have you noticed a change in how people react now? Christmas shopping, or just in general, you rarely ever see a smile just because anymore. People ignore you, and they don't step aside to let you through, and Don't get me started on the people that don't bother to say excuse me and just barge right through you and nab the one thing you were reaching for. I continue to hear people ask this question, and no one seems to have an answer. But what has happened to society? Where are you, Christmas? Can you help my heart grow like the Grinch's?
Huh. Well, Cindy Lou Who, it's great to hear from you, even though I must admit, when the boys were like 5, 6 years old, I was pretty sick of you. I mean, it's like, oh, Christmas. Dad, raise the Grinch. Dad, can you raise the Grinch? Dad, please raise the Grinch. And, then see, you go to bed. Okay, what do you guys want to read tonight? Read the Grinch. And then you get where you go, okay, what do you want to read tonight? And you can say anything but the Grinch. Oh, Dad, please read the Grinch, please. And I was so sick of you, Cindy Lou. I would be reading, and as I would turn the page, I would try to grab like 3 pages, turn through, and man, those boys. Dad, you skipped a part. No, I don't think I. Yes, Dad, you did. Remember, you skipped the part about the who hash. It's like, oh, okay, all right, never mind. We'll go back. So anyway, it was very interesting to have you pop up in my life like this, Cindy Lou Who. Let me go with this question first. What has happened to society? That you continue to hear people ask the question, what has happened? No one seems to have an answer. Okay, this is a question we should probably take an episode to discuss because I understand why you feel like no one seems to have an answer. I have an answer, but it takes a while to explain it, but it's a bottom of the pool. If you're going to understand the answer to this, or if you're going to get an answer to what has happened to society, you have to go to the bottom of the pool on what you know and continue to bring on those layers because, the easy answer is that, this generation hasn't been parented, it's a parenting thing. And it's easy to go, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. And then never go for the truth. It's like saying, why is one segment of our society, why do they have such a higher crime rate? And, then people say, well, it's because of the break of the family. There's no fathers in those homes there, and that's why. And people go, yeah, that's absolutely true. And then, they go and conversing something else. But you got to go to the bottom of the pool on this. Okay, so why? But wait a minute. Yeah, it's true. No fathers. Okay, so, but why are there no fathers? And then that answer usually probably deserves another big why. Is that the case? And you ask why until you get to the bottom of the pool, and there is no deeper place to go. You've reached the concrete. You can't go any deeper. There's no reason to ask why because you realize you've gone past all these things that are true, and you've ended up at the truth. It is true that it is a family issue. That it is, how people act is ultimately born and shows up in how they were raised and the people they're around and what they consider to be acceptable and why they consider that to be acceptable. And so it's a longer answer that I would love to tackle on one of these episodes, but in a word, that's where it is. It's born of the home. It's born of the family, this issue. And yeah, I have noticed the change in how people act. We talked sometime recently, we talked about how people who walk right in front of you don't say, excuse me. Just don't, they don't act like you even exist. And that's what you say here. You talk about people ignoring you, don't even step to the side to let you through. It is amazing. My family, as we travel sometime together, we'll experience somebody or see something, and we will look at each other and we will say, only person in the world. And we know what that means, because we've talked about it so much that we've laughed. Just like this person is acting like there's nobody else in the world, that they don't even know there's anybody else on the planet. I mean, you don't know how many times I have seen people riding an escalator in an airport, get to the top of the escalator and just stop to orient themselves, to figure out where I go next. They stop. Now, you would think, don't you know that people are about to start piling into you? But no, they don't know, because they considered themselves the only person in the world. I guess is the only explanation I can come up with it. Have you noticed that there are a lot of times that you get out of an elevator and somebody is standing right in front of it? And, you want to say, excuse me, in our country, we find that we have to let people off the elevator before others can get on. But man, this happens all the time. It's rare that you see somebody standing to the side, knowing that an elevator door, before they can get on, this elevator door is going to open and people are going to have to get out. I mean, you just watch how many people just stand right in front of the two doors that are going to slide apart, as if they're about to step on, as if there can't possibly be anybody on that elevator, because I'm the only person in the world. I know exactly what you're talking about. And I know the thing about the bad attitude. I got you there too. I somewhere along the line have had to, there's so much of that when I travel, I have had to start to see that as funny. We had to make a joke about it. They're the only people in the world. Hey, and so that I would see it when I was trying to have to come home, my family would say, hey, I got a great story. I got a great only people in the world story. Okay, wait till everybody's together one time. And so even now when I'm traveling, I'm trying to see it differently. Okay. But man, ultimately, I say, man, you're not a man, Cindy Lou Who. But that's kind of the way it goes. So, man, the only thing I think you can do is choose to understand that they are not as informed as you are about how people act and what it causes or creates in their life. And in effect, it is true that we are walking around competing with other human beings. There's more competition than just a game. There's more competition than just at work. We're competing as human beings. Our families are competing. We want people to see us as the one they want to be around, the one they want to do business with, the one that makes them feel differently than everybody else, the one that makes them relax. I mean, so even while everybody else is like running around at Mach 10 with their hair on fire, you and I have got to choose to be calm and choose to. Now, I got to tell you, I'm sitting here saying this, and I know that if Polly were in here right now and looking over the desk at me, she'd be rolling her eyes, because I have a hard time with this too. And maybe this is a good time to insert to all our listeners around the world who maybe are new, that I am new to you. You just started listening to the Professional Noticer, but you don't really know me well. Let me just tell you something. I do make a good stab at answering these questions and at harnessing common sense and wisdom and helping you with it. But just because I know the answers to some of these questions, I don't ever want you to think that that means I am great at it. I really, really relate more to you than I do to some guy with a double doctorate in psychology and psychiatry. And, while I know the answers, I still struggle with carrying out some of the answers, okay? But that just puts you and I on the same team in a closer area of relationship. And so just telling you, Cindy Lou Who, I have the opportunity to also develop a bad attitude sometimes, and sometimes I see it coming too. But we have to pull back. We have to make sure that we don't turn green living on the top of the mountain in a cave with a goofy dog. Because when you turn green, you turn mean. You know, the Grinch, it was a cartoon, but he was mean. Okay? And didn't take any time to understand anybody else. He kind of considered himself the only person on the world because he was smart. He figured he was smarter than everybody. These people were all stupid. So you know what I'm saying. And so we have to be careful that we don't fall prey to those thoughts and feelings and then turn green and then have our hearts needing to be grown. So, Sandy Lou Who, I think your heart is already many times larger than the Grinch's. You can help your heart grow. Just stop, think about what's going on, give yourself a little perspective, and get going. All right? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. And I think that'll do it for this week. So get us out of here, Matthew. So, ladies and gentlemen, and to the boys and girls who aspire to become ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the end of another episode of The Professional Noticer. In a world where common sense has become a superpower, I'm harnessing the tiny bit of mental energy I have for you, seeking wisdom, making observations, and endeavoring to answer tough questions in a way that will empower your family and your business. I'm Andy Andrews. Until next week, smile while you talk, shake hands with the kids you meet, and make sure you have an answer to the question, what day is Santa Claus's birthday? It's not the 25th. That's a work day for the fat man. And Jesus has the 25th locked up. And so, until next week, goodbye. This episode of The Professional Noticer was produced by Matt Limpert. The Noticer theme, written and performed by Sugarcane Jane. Bagels and Locks, provided for cast and crew by Twinkle and Smoke of Beverly Hills. Additional financial consideration provided by a secretsociety.com location near you. We're not sure where they are or what they really intend, but you can be sure they're meeting right now in a windowless room near you, deciding which rules they can change and which rules they can create, and these are all the rules by which you will soon be forced to play. Whether it's walking while texting within 100 yards of a public park, the type plants you are allowed to have in your front yard, whether or not you can park on the street in front of your own house, or whether you can pump your own gas at a convenience store, or not, like in New Jersey. All these rules and about 1 million more are being decided in secret. In secret? Yes. After you elected your homeowners association, you don't get a vote on what color you can paint your backyard shed, or whether or not you can even have a backyard shed. Nope. All these rules, with financial penalties for those who do not comply, are being decided mostly without any attention from you. Again, why? Well, because you're busy, and most of the rule makers in our lives are elected again and again because they're the only name recognized on the local ballot, or they are the people on a committee with nothing to do all day but decide how you should live. All this and more brought to you by secretsocieties.com. We don't call them secret societies, but keep an eye out. They are bringing their version of your future very soon, in a big, secret way.